Hello, everybody. This is so weird. Have you all seen that Facebook has changed their live? It is so bizarre. I don't know what I'm doing, and it's so different than anything I've ever done. So, hold on. I'm going to try to make this more like what I'm used to. Hi, everybody. How are you? I hope I can tell when you all are here. Um, if you're here, come in, say hi, tell me you are here. Because I am super excited to get started. I hope you all can see me and you can see that I'm in here. I'm going to start the recording right now, but this is very different than what I'm used to. How weird. But I am thrilled that you're here. I am thrilled that you're joining me. I hope you all can see me because I'm going to ask you, can you see me? Oh, awesome. Hi, Karen. Can you see me? This is so different. Well, I'm sure Facebook needed to make a change, maybe because all of us are on doing Facebook Lives and they needed to make some changes. But I hope that you can see me. I am so excited that you're here. For those of you who are new to me, I am Marna Thal. I've been helping people lose weight by thinking, eating, and living naturally thin for the last 23 years, since I was 18 years old. So it may be more than that, but I've been helping people a very, very long time. So I want to talk all things hunger. And why do I want to talk about hunger? Why is it so important? What is the rationale for that? Well, it's because when I was trying to lose weight myself and trying to figure out what in the world do the naturally thin do, it became incredibly clear after interview what they, I started to see these patterns of the naturally thin. And remember, these were like, I was a psychology student. These were very informal interviews, but I would just ask people, how do you know when to eat? Why do you eat? What is that about? How do you know when to start a meal, stop a meal? What were they doing that I just couldn't get my brain around that? And I thought that, and I wasn't sure, I thought if I started studying the naturally thin, maybe, just maybe, it would help me lose weight. And one of the big things that I discovered in interview after interview after interview was that the naturally thin only eat when their bodies are hungry. They feel hunger. So in response to that, I started copying that. And what I found was that, yes, I definitely could feel hunger, but it wasn't always so super comfort. I wasn't always comfortable with it. And here's why. I've started to create a pattern of eating where I just ate because it was time, because I thought I should, because it looked good, because I was numbing out and coping. And so this simple way of feeling hunger for the naturally thin was much more complex to me. It was much more of a challenge to wrap my body, mind, head around and my emotions around, because I had used food in a way that the naturally thin don't use food. They don't use food for comfort or joy or love. They just eat when their body's hungry. It's just such a natural physiological signal, and they are beautiful at listening to it. So because of that, and because I knew I so wanted to stop dieting, I was so craving a different relationship with food and my body and weight, then I just couldn't figure out what in the world I should do. So I started really listening to my body and its hunger. Some of you are wondering if I'm on live. Can you see me? I'm going to ask you guys, can you see me? Are you guys here? I want to make sure. Let me know, guys, if you can see me. Just say yes, because I know there's always a delay, but it says I am live. So I want to make sure you can see me. Can you see me, guys? Sorry, they are doing something totally different with live. Oh no, it says something went wrong. Oh no, this is so weird. Can you see me? Okay, you guys can see me? Okay, good. Great. great, great, great. And you can hear me? All right. So happy about that. All right. Sorry about that. Just needed to make sure y'all could see me. I know those of you who are on the phone, you can certainly hear me, but I just want to make sure this video is coming through since this is a totally different format for Facebook Live. Okay, so when I started practice eating when I was hungry, there was a few things that I found really, really helped me to start hunkering in to listening to my body. And one of the things was asking myself throughout the day, am I hungry? And the way I did that is I put my hands on my stomach. You can see my tummy. I put my hands on my stomach and I would just breathe into this space. Why do I breathe into this space of feeling my stomach? The reason being is that this is a physiological experience that we have. Much in the same way when we have to go to the bathroom, we feel it. We don't just go to the bathroom because, hey, I'm feeling sad. Let's go sit on the toilet. In the same way we feel hunger, we need to feel it. And by putting my hands on my stomach, it gave me this natural head to body experience to go inside my body, place my hands underneath my stomach and feel inside what I'm experiencing. And in doing so, I was able to feel into that feeling, into my body. And then I could feel much more clearly hunger or if I wasn't hungry. So it's important to do that. That is called an anchor. It's an NLP term, neuro-linguistic programming. I really like that. I do it often. I put my hands naturally on my stomach now because I've now done this for 20 some years. I check in. Am I hungry? I put my hands on there to determine and give myself that connection between my brain and my stomach. I need these two to work together. They don't always want to work. They want to oftentimes see food, eat food. So I need my brain to go into my stomach. And the best way I found was placing my hands on there so I could feel into that signal. Okay. So that's one. Asking yourself, am I hungry, is really helpful throughout the day because I want you to get this connection. Okay. Then next, after you ask yourself, am I hungry? I want you to ask yourself, how hungry am I? That will give you a sense. Am I just a little bit hungry? Am I ravenous? It gives you a sense of where you should and how you should plan. If I'm just a little bit hungry, I know just a bit of a snack is going to work or a smaller size meal. If I'm really hungry, I know that what's going to happen. I need a much larger meal for me to feel satisfied. But this again puts your brain and your body, it connects these two so that you're experiencing more of a connection between the head and the body. So I highly recommend asking yourself, not just am I hungry, but how hungry am I? It's going to help you decide and figure out how much you need. Now, when we continue on this journey and feeling that satisfaction, it's just really important to make sure that you feel that satisfaction inside your body. And we'll look at that more and more. But for the beginning part of a meal and discovering what the naturally thin do and copying that, it's really about sitting with that hunger. Sitting with that feeling inside of me that feels hunger. And I want you practicing this too. So how does hunger show up in our body? Well, I really like using the example of the signal inside of us to go to the bathroom because most all of us don't have huge areas in that way. So it's a feeling, okay? When you feel hunger, just like when you feel having to go to the bathroom, when you have to go to the bathroom, that signal gets stronger and stronger and stronger until you're going to explode, right? Until you have to go running to the toilet. But it comes on a little bit slowly. Why? It gives you time. It gives you a little bit of that time, a little bit of that buffer to help you move into that hunger space to get food consciously in a relaxed way. And then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And as it gets stronger, that intensity is there. And the thing with it getting stronger is the fact that if you wait too long, I don't know if you've done this, if you wait too long to go to the bathroom, you could have an explosion. If you wait too long for hunger, you can also have an explosion. And that will be a binge. That will be an overeating episode. That will be a moment where you feel out of control. So I recommend the feeling of hunger that you want to experience is a nice feeling of hunger. It's that, you know what? I'm feeling my hunger. I feel it definitely inside my body. And so let's now start to plan something. Let's start to have something planned in the next hour, 45 minutes. But then the question comes up, and I hear this a lot. Well, what if I have a lunch date and it's 2:00, my lunch date, or it's 1:30 and it's 1:00 now and I'm starving? So take a few bites, have a couple nuts. I recommend having a few things that you're not going to binge on, that's not going to create the cravings, but it's actually purposeful. So for me, that's usually 3 almonds. I'm never going to overeat almonds. Some of you love almonds and you'll overeat on them, but for me, it's not a trigger. So if let's say it's 1:00, I'm starving. I feel like at 1:30, if I wait that long, I'm going to go into like unconscious eating and binge mode. I will have just something to just take that hunger down a little bit. I'll still be hungry, but I won't lose my brain. When we lose our brain, we can't feel when to start eating and when to stop eating. And when I say lose your brain, I mean when you are so hungry that it's overwhelming every sensation inside of you, you can't consciously and relaxingly sit and enjoy a meal. You just can't, because you're so high in your head about, oh my God, I got to eat this. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. I'm going to, pass out. I never want any of you getting to that level. That's a level 1 in my world. Level 1 is you're so hungry, you're going to pass out. Level 2 is when you're very good and hungry. This is a fine place to eat for some of you. Some of you find that, wow, even if I get to a level 2, like I'm so hungry, that's too much of a trigger. That's fine. That's fine. Level 3 is where you're nice and hungry. Level 4 is you're just a little bit hungry. Okay? A little bit hungry is like 3 to 4 bites, like just a little snack hungry. And what I observed is that the naturally thin eat when their body is hungry in any of those ranges. Some of those naturally thin people hate feeling overly hungry. They hate feeling that feeling, so they don't let themselves go there. Or they start to find that when they get overly hungry, their blood sugar starts to tank, and then they can't consciously focus on a meal. So they'll catch themselves. They may have like a string cheese or something to give them a little bit of, and then they can sit and have a nice meal. Okay. Hi, Miss Kate. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. Wow, so many of you on here. Awesome. We're in a different format with Facebook Live here. They changed it up. So I am learning this. It's a little bit different for me, but I'm hoping you all can see me and the quality's okay. It's not using it's using my mic, but not my camera. So I will figure it out, but it is just a little bit different for right now. We're talking all things hunger, all things hunger. So some things that I want you to know is that when you experience hunger, it is in your body just like going to the bathroom. However, the sensation and where it is obviously is different. It is between your rib cage. Let me see if I can. Here's your ribs. Here's my ribs. Right here is where hunger exists. Between my ribs at the very bottom, that is where hunger will reside for the majority of people. Not everybody feels hunger right in their stomach, but the majority, I would say 80-90% of people feel it in that area. Okay? It's going to be gradual, like we talked about, like with going to the bathroom. It comes on gradually, gets stronger and stronger until you feel like you're out of control. I don't want you to get to that point where you're too hungry, because then we binge. And then let me tell you, other things that I hear people say: difficulty concentrating, lightheadedness, irritability, feeling a little bit faint. That's a blood sugar. I don't want you ever waiting till that point. Obviously, I don't want any of you waiting to the point where you're like, oh, I'm going to pass out here. That's not what we're looking for. I want you to just feel nice and hungry. nice and that feeling inside your tummy. And I want you practicing throughout the day, feeling that hunger. Fall in love with that hunger. Some of you said that you really appreciated me saying that. I remember when I was losing weight and nights where I was in my bed and I would feel hunger and I'd be like, well, I could eat right now. I could just wait until the morning. And I just kind of fell in love with feeling that hunger because in my head, it was just such a beautiful difference between feeling hunger and just eating because I thought I should, because it was there, because it was time, because of all these external motivators and external triggers inside of me. So I want you really, really feeling within. This is a going within. If you don't go within, you do it every single day when it comes to honoring your body, when it comes to your bathroom habits, right? This is the exact same. It's physiological. Okay, what other things that I want you to know? Okay, I want you to think about hunger in this way, is that when you are hungry, your stomach is roughly the size of your fist. See that fist? I had a rubber band there. Okay, so this is my stomach. Your fist is going to look different. When we're in our naturally thin state, this is about the size food. Another way to do it is like this, where you're cupping your hands together. One of those is kind of a portion that you can think of, okay? And some of you might, right now I can hear it, you're having heart attacks. That's all right, because what we're doing is we're naturally shrinking your stomach down to its naturally thin state by listening to your body. If a stomach is just similar to any other muscle, it has the ability to expand or to contract. If you put more food in your body than it needs, it expands. If you listen to your body, it contracts. So what I want you to do by starting to listen to hunger, guess what you start to do? You start to put hunger in your body, in your stomach. You start to honor, okay, my stomach is now empty. I need more food. Okay, you're hearing that signal. One thing that can change your signal inside your body is our food types, okay? Some of you will find that, gosh, okay, so here's what happens to me. If I have a bagel and I'm really hungry, I'll be hungry in an hour later because bread doesn't work super well for me. It just doesn't. But the only way I could figure that out was listening to my body. And that has changed over the years. At 18 years old, that's very different than 44 years old for me. I have to listen. I want all of you to listen to your body to feel what happens. When you eat and you have a nice sized meal because you're hungry, you should have satiation for 3, 4, 5 hours. If you're hungry, unless you're just a little bit hungry and you have a 4 or 5 bites, naturally thin people, there's some people that are naturally thin. They get a little bit hungry, they eat a little bit. They get a little bit hungry, they eat a little bit. And it's 4 or 5 bites, but it's all throughout the day. Okay. If you're not that type, I'm not that type. I'm more of a meal person. I will find that I've got to make sure that I'm listening to that hunger inside of me and feeling it and really feeling that sensation inside of me, and then I will eat. Okay. But there's the difference. You have to know who you are. If you're just a little snacker, then you would want like 4, 5, 6 little meals. If you're somebody who's more of a meal person, the naturally thin will say they eat between 2 meals and 4 meals a day. Okay. I find I'm a 2 to 3 mealer person a day. Some people freak out. Well, what about, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, here's what I found. Some naturally thin people, like my husband, he will say things like, my stomach's not awake yet. I don't know what that means. He understands what that means. He oftentimes will not have breakfast, but his first meal is around 10:30, 11 o'clock. So he's kind of having his brunch around that time because that's when he feels hungry. I have another kid. My husband's not a kid. right? One of my kiddos eats a massive, massive breakfast every single day and a very small dinner, typically. It just depends. It depends on you, but you won't know until you listen to your body. I want you to feel satiated for that 4 or 5 hour time period between meals. We need to have this time where we eat, our body uses that food, give it this break, drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself, and then it needs more food. And then you have a break. And then you'll feel it need more food. If you're like me, you eat and you feel hungry an hour later, you know there's something a bit off. If I have a whole bagel and cream cheese and I'm hungry an hour later, I know there's something that either a nutrient or an inflammatory response that's not working within my body. So I play with that. I never tell myself no, that I can't have something. I just play with it. I say to myself, okay, well, what other option can I have? Okay, because I do love my bread. So I may look at Ezekiel bread. I may look at Dave's Killer bread. I may look at different options and see, do they sustain themselves? If I have bagel, cream cheese, lox, tomato, and lettuce, does that sustain me? Do you see what I mean? You're looking at how does your body function the best, because you shouldn't be hungry every 5 seconds of the day. If I have a salad, just a plain salad, same thing. I'm hungry an hour later. That may not be the case for you, but that's what happens to me. So I got to load it with protein and fat. Having a higher protein, higher fat diet for me helps me stay satiated. So more protein, good quality fat. But there are no rules here. I just share what I've learned about myself, and I want you feeling into that as well. Notice what helps you sustain your hunger and feel satiated. Like today I can have oatmeal with some bananas. That feels great. Sometimes I do turkey sausage, Applegate turkey sausage. I'll have 3 of those links. That'll be my breakfast, and I'll have some coffee. Sometimes I'm not hungry at all. I may have coffee and I throw some protein powder in here. It just depends based on what I'm craving, what feels good in my body, and what my hunger is. Sometimes I was talking to the inner circle about this last week, saying sometimes I might have like a Greek yogurt, but halfway through I'm just kind of like, I'm bored. So I'll wrap it up and then I'll have something else. I'm still hungry. I check in to make sure if I'm still hungry, but then I'll maybe have a hard-boiled egg, or I'll have a slice of cheese or something, because psychologically, this is really important. Psychologically and physiologically, you need to feel satisfied during your meals. If you eat a salad and you're like, but really, I was really wanting that slice of pizza, I'd much rather you have that slice of pizza and enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, enjoy every single bite. Because there's nothing worse than having a salad, feeling totally psychologically deprived by it, and then going hunting for something that you actually really want. And then you've had the salad, the pizza, and something else, right? There was one question in the 30-day challenge from one of you, and I apologize, I don't remember the name, but it was like, I get hungry, and then I feel like I'm hungry really soon after. That's when we look at hormones. Like, is there some inflammatory response? And one of you said, well, I feel like I want sugar afterwards. Okay, so why not have sugar as part of your lunch and dinner? Have it be part of it. You want a couple Oreos? See what that feels like in your body. Then does that, have a meal and save hunger room for something that has some sweetness to you. Whatever you need to do, it's not about the issue. Why we get into trouble with struggling with weight is overeating by not listening to our hunger signals, not feeling into our bodies. Emotionally eating, which is also not being in our bodies and eating for other reasons, right? Those are the main reasons. Or if there's a hormonal response, like the food is just not working in your body. That's about it. Those are the reasons why we struggle. So why not have the foods you love? What happens when we diet, all of a sudden these foods are good, these foods are bad. And then you're naughty when you have those foods, and you're great when you have these foods. So when you're eating vegetables, you're good. And when you're eating candy, you're bad? No, no. We're going to neutralize food here. Food is food. Food is food. What's important to me is that you start to make peace with it so that when you have a piece of cake, you don't feel like you can't stop. So you can have a piece and feel like, gosh, I did good. And if that means that's your dinner, then have that as your dinner and enjoy every morsel of that piece of cake, and then recognize and feel, how did that feel? Do I feel sluggish? Do I feel swollen? Did that make me feel like crap? Did I feel amazing? I guarantee. So I have a story where when I was in college, I had a bowl of peanut M&Ms and I had it on my headboard. And I kept it. It was one of those old school headboards that like you had like those drawers and stuff. So I put it on my headboard and I just left it there because I was feeling like I was feeling myself out of control with them. And I thought, you know what? If I neutralize this, if I just allow it, it's going to take all this energy out. And so I had the bowl there. And when I was hungry, I'd have some. And when I was hungry, I'd have some. Sometimes meals were just that. And then little by little, it was like, then they went bad. I'd have them there. They just went bad because I allowed them. I psychologically stopped giving it so much energy over me and when I just allowed, it took all that bad energy around food, me being bad, it took it all away. And it was just food. And I was just going to have it when I was hungry and I was going to enjoy it and I was going to honor my body. And that was that. And it took so much of that energy away that's why they were able to go bad on my headboard. I stopped thinking about them and I literally threw them away. So that's what this is about. Now, some of you may be panicking going, I can't do that. Okay. If that feels overwhelming to just allow every food in, that's fine. What I'm saying is start allowing something in. And it may be a small portion, getting a bar or getting a small roll that you would get at a gas station if you can go into the gas station, or you can order of Oreos. It can be portioning it out in a way that you feel in control because I want you to feel in control. I want you to learn to trust your body and trust your hunger. Feel it, allow it, don't panic when it comes. We do that by just breathing into that space of hunger, allowing it. So everybody right now, I want you to close your eyes and I just want you to feel into your stomach area and determine, is there hunger happening there? What's going on? What's happening inside of there? Is there nothing? Do you feel a sensation? Do you feel it up in your mouth or do you feel it in your head? What's going on inside of your body? Okay, this is important to feel into because what I start to notice is that if you're feeling it here, guess what? You're thinking. And if you're feeling it here, you're thirsty. But if you're feeling it in your tummy, that you're hungry. Make the differentiation. Head hunger, mouth hunger, stomach hunger. We eat for stomach hunger. We drink for mouth hunger, and we deal with this in different ways. Okay? We deal with that in a different way. So that combination will help you. So today, practicing, am I hungry? What does it feel like inside of me? What does hunger feel like inside of me? Some of you are like, well, what am I going to do with all this free time if I'm not hungry and I want to eat? Yes. Yes. This is wise comments coming out. Well, this is exactly what you want to do. You've been wanting to get thinner, lose weight, feel better in your body. What is it that you've been wanting to do? And one of the questions I personally ask myself all the time that I love is, what would my thin self want? What would my naturally thin self want? What is she craving me to do? She wants me to go clean a drawer. I just heard it in my head when I asked that. She wants me to go clean out the nightstand. She wants me to go, organize something. She wants me to go cook and get ready for Passover because I'm Jewish. Wants me to do different things. That's what my naturally thin person wants me to do. It doesn't want me to just sit and eat. One thing that will help too, make sure everybody you're drinking enough water. The signals will be clear in your stomach when you're well hydrated. You will get better results when you're experiencing hunger when you're hydrated. Okay. So make sure you have water around. Feel into that experience of mouth hunger. Know that if you're feeling it here, that's not real hunger. I used to think when I was losing weight and trying to figure out what hunger was when the naturally thin explained it to me, I was like, oh, great. I feel hunger all the time right here. And they're like, no, it should be a little bit lower. That's mouth hunger. That is thirst. So make sure you're hydrated. Okay. So definitely feel your hunger. Take that time. Fall in love with hunger. It is there. It is letting you know that your body, you have burned through that food. Your body needs something else. And if hunger is happening all the time and you're having pretty sizable meals, know that there's something out of whack. My go-to is protein and fat over carbs because I just get hungry all the time when I'm eating that way. And I like kind of being somebody who eats 2 to 3 meals a day. I like that feeling. That works well for me in my life. So listen to it, explore it. And I absolutely know that there's so much that comes out of listening to your hunger. Like there's so much emotional stuff that starts to happen. So expect that. Know that. That's what I'm here for. It's totally like the simplicity of hunger is very simple. Just like going to the bathroom. Like all of you would be like, just go to the bathroom. Like, but I can't. Wait, just go to the bathroom. Listen to your body that way. It's easy. It's physiological. Just listen. But I 100% get that there's all this emotional stuff that happens when you're like, but I really want it. I don't want to wait to hunger. I want it now. So that's where I want all of you to start recognizing just the conversation in your head. What's happening? No judgment. We're not judging it because it's played a purpose. It's served a purpose, right? But just notice it, hear it, honor it, allow it. Just kind of go, oh, okay. And I like the idea of writing it down. What are the sentences that you say inside of your head that makes listening to hunger or might make listening to hunger hard, or that's making it hard to wait, or that's making you want to get it and eat instead of waiting for it, right? I heard from some of you saying, man, I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands with, I thought I felt hunger all the time. No, I'm only feeling it 2, 3 times. So I'm going to have to deal with that. I used to do work with when I was training to be a therapist. One of the things that I did is I worked in a bereavement group with women who had lost their husbands. And we took a plate and they wrote all the different aspects of their lives, like spiritual, work, home life. They just looked at it and then they shaded in that plate what different aspects, how they were sharing that time with their partner. So maybe they were sharing their spiritual life 100% with their partner, or 80%, and work was 20%. And then they had to cut out those shaded parts. And what they were left with was like this framework of a plate, right? It had holes in it. It had these big holes in this plate. And in these holes, they had to go, wow, how am I going to fill up this time? What is this going to look like? And you could either go through the rabbit hole feeling depressed about that, like, oh man, my buddy of food is gone. What am I going to do with my time? Or you can actually get excited and say, what am I going to do with my new thin life? What am I going to create? I want to be exploring. I want to be like for me, I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like learning. I love business. I love learning about it. It looks like decorating. It looks like going on walks. It looks like coaching. It looks like those other things. It looks like watching TV late at night with my husband and laying on his chest and feeling totally fine, sipping on my water or my hot tea and being okay with that. That's what it looks like. It looks like taking time for me. It looks like, right? So I want you all to think about, wow, if food was just put in its place of hunger, you still love it, you still enjoy it, you still enjoy your meals, but if it was put in its place, so it wasn't everything, what are you going to do, right? What do you want to do with that time? This is your opportunity to dream and think about what is it that you can start doing to fill that time in a meaningful way? Is it gardening? Is it planting? Is it, some people have run 5K, 10K. There's so many different ways I want you to dream, but we're putting food in its place. It's part of your life. It's going to give you joy. It's going to be wonderful. You're going to love your meals, and it's just one small aspect. Now I want you to fill this time up really thinking, if food was not an issue for you, if you never struggled, what would you do with that time? What would your naturally thin self want you to do? And that's just a fun question that I ask about. I always ask it in various different ways because it reaches for a thin answer versus a fat answer, right? And we're going to do, we're going to talk lots about your thinking and how it relates to hunger and what's getting in the way. But for today, I want you just to be connected to your hunger. Feel it, connect to it, notice it, pay attention to it, give yourself the time. Don't get frustrated with it. It's not there to frustrate you. It's just there to be listened to. And keep using the analogy of going to the bathroom. You wouldn't just go sit on the toilet because you're sad or you're bored or you're upset. It's not going to help, right? That toilet, trying to go to the bathroom is not going to help you. Feeling your feelings, addressing them, addressing your needs, that's where you need to spend the time. That's what's really going to make a big difference for you. So feel your feelings. If you're having a hard feeling, write them. That's why you all have journals. Write, share, connect. Go into the inner circle. Go into the 30-day challenge. Come into Thin Within results. Share what do you need? What's going on inside of you? Just the act of writing is so therapeutic to get this stuff out. Use each other, connect with each other, okay? Be good to one another. Now, let me answer any questions that you have around hunger. I'm hoping that I can still see comments. If you're on the phone, wonderful. Hit *2. That will raise your hand. I'm happy to answer any other question for you around hunger so that you have clarity and you know exactly how you want to go into the next day or so really being in your body. All right, so let me just *2. Oh, wow, there is a lot of you on the phone. Awesome. Oh, so many of you. Welcome, welcome. So great to have so many of you on the phone. If you have a question, *2 on your phone will raise your hand. It will let me see that I can, and I'll answer your question. If you have questions and you're on Facebook, absolutely write in your question. Share with me what you need. I know that there's always a delay slightly between my video and what you receive. So it always takes just a minute to get your question. Let me through this. Awesome. I love you all supporting each other. Oh, I hope I'm not cutting out anymore. All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say hi, Karen. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Minnie. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Miss Karen. Hi, Jill. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Tripty. Hi, Liz. Hi, Jill. Hi, Miss Barbara and Laura and Tracy and Michelle and Mimi and Aaron and Diane and Kate and Tam and Elise, Connie. So awesome. So awesome to see you all. All right, you don't have questions for me? Everything is working great when it comes to hunger. If it is, that is phenomenal. But if you have questions, please, this is my time with you. I would love to help you process through anything that might be getting in the way. I didn't understand where the extra time is coming from. Oh, okay. So Tripty, what I mean when I was saying that, no problem. When I was saying, when you feel hunger and you recognize that, oh my gosh, I'm not hungry all the time, right? Like I may have spent 4 hours eating or not really, but like 3 hours of my day eating instead of now an hour and a half. There's this extra time. It's extra time thinking about it, engaging with it. And so I want you to fill that time up in a way that serves your naturally thin you. That's what you've been craving you want to do. When you say, okay, when I get thin, I want to, what? What do you want to do? Let's spend that time doing that. Okay. Great question. What about 3 a.m. hunger? Well, certainly that is something, there are conditions for that, but let's just say you typically have 3 a.m. hunger. Mimi, I want to know what's happening, or when are you eating before that 3 a.m.? Tell me a little bit about that and I'll come back to you. I know when I feel mouth hunger that okay. I know that when I feel mouth hunger, it isn't hunger, but this morning I felt hunger or something in my chest. I wasn't sure if it was hunger. So I decided it was hunger. I had something which I did really enjoy. Okay, so Lana, my question to you is, did it make that funky feeling go away? Sometimes hunger is going to disguise itself and get, we'll talk about this, y'all, but sometimes it masks itself. But did it make that chest feeling go away? That would be my question. If it made it go away, then that may be how you experience hunger. It could have been a little bit of blood sugary sensation. Most of the time, it's in that stomach area. That's where you're going to experience your hunger. But it might be that you feel it in that way. My hunger is always in my chest. I feel a little choked and I don't feel well. When I eat, then you feel great. See, this is why diets that tell you it gives you a one size fits all approach makes no sense. Your hunger is your hunger. I want you playing with it, experiencing it. I know, just because I've worked with thousands of women and men at this point, that most people feel it in their chest. I would say 85 to 90% feel it in their stomach area. But there's always the 10 to 15% that feel it in a different way. And I say we go with it. And if you can't feel it at all, we're going to figure that out too. I want you all just being in connection with me, letting me know how you feel it and what that feeling is like. And if you're not feeling it, I have a strategy for that as well. Okay. So Diane, it's perfect. That's how you feel it. You feel it more in your chest. Great. That's you. Sometimes I fixate on when I'm going to get hungry so that I can eat. Yeah, that is really normal, Connie. Like, especially right now, as you're trying to think of it as learning a language. It makes sense that you're like, oh, wait, am I hungry? Am I hungry? Am I hungry? What I want you to do, if you're starting to feel that it feels unnatural, I want you to remember your body will wake you up to hunger, just the same way your body will wake you up to going to the bathroom. You don't have to ask it a million times a day. You can do nice little check-ins, but it will let you know. Hunger, you think about babies, you think about little kids. It's painful. They cry. It hurts. It gets louder and louder, and they cry more and more until they get fed, and then they eat. And when they're done, they shake their head. They don't want any more. You have this signal beautifully inside you too. It's just about listening. So Connie, the fixating is about something else. It's like a worry, it's a concern, it's a thought, it's something that isn't serving you. So I want you to look at, what is that about? Can you let it go? My favorite way for letting everything go is using my breath in through my nose, out through my mouth. Just, okay. And let's say it looked like this, like, oh my God, am I hungry? Am I hungry? All right, let me just feel, am I hungry? Okay, I'm not hungry right now. All right, I know I'll feel hungry at some point. So you honor that. You honor the discomfort. You don't negate it. You honor it. Breathe through it and say, I know my body will let me know the perfect time when it starts to feel hungry. Talk to your body, connect with your body, let it know that you get that this is new. This can be awkward. It can feel funky and weird, and you're not super comfortable with it. That's okay. Okay. Miss Karen, the bathroom thing has been more helpful than you know. I've found that I don't always pay attention to when I need to go. Crazy. Yeah. But then it's led me to pay more attention and not be so busy. Yeah, especially if we're busy. This analogy is so helpful. But yeah, it's the same thing. If you don't pay attention to when you have to go to the bathroom because you're so stinking busy, many of you nurses are in this situation. Many of you who have fixed schedules, like teachers, can be in this situation. You sort of bypass your signals, or you let them go so much until you go running down the hall to go to the bathroom. I do want you globally thinking more about your body and allowing yourself to feel that feeling. Okay. Dinner's normally around 7, Mimi. So 3 o'clock, 7, 8. I mean, it's definitely been a while. Um, what I would recommend, make sure that, Mimi, your dinners have good quality protein and some fat. When I say good quality protein, I'm just saying like chicken, shrimp, steak, something that I find keeps hunger at bay. But that's me. My husband will tell you something else. He gets totally satisfied by having a bagel and cream cheese. So just make sure your dinner's satisfying, I should say. 3 o'clock, see if you are able, I mean, if you're so hungry, you might want to just lay in bed, have some water. I mean, maybe you're up at 3 o'clock. If that's when you start your day, okay, but have some water. See if this is in fact true hunger. And by having some water, that will help you get the signals crossed. Like if it's mouth hunger, you drink some water, and you have a bunch of water and you're like, oh, wait, that was really just my mouth wanting something. My body's actually feeling quite fine. So you might want to try that. Or if you start seeing that this is a pattern and it's when you wake up, I'm fine. If it's waking you up in the middle of the night, I'd love to see if you can just kind of push it to when you do feel hunger in the morning, because your body still's needing that time to regenerate. Nighttime's that time for your cells to regenerate, for you to heal. You'll get more connected to hunger if you wait. So I say it, all of this, everybody, all of my answers are always going to be, it kind of depends, because I do not have a one size fits rule at all. So it's about playing. It's about feeling what will work for you, but being committed enough to try different things out so that we know what's going on for you. So Mimi, I want you to try out not having food at 3. If you're waking up, having food and having water. Let's try those things and let's see what really starts to happen. Okay. Sometimes, if let's say I have a 5 o'clock meal, I may not be hungry again, or I'll be starving first thing in the morning, but maybe I had a 7 o'clock meal and it was really like very filling because of what I ate, the foods in it. And then I may not be hungry. And so I just going to sip on my coffee or have some water, and then I'll be hungry for when my body is going to tell me it's hungry. And that may be at 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. I don't know. I'll just listen. Okay. Okay, so Lana, yes, food made the feelings go. So you might feel it in your stomach, but you may have some funky feelings that start to crawl up into your chest. Let's listen to that. Let's pay attention to that. Let's honor that. Again, I do want to make sure you are hydrated as well, okay? I like the bathroom analogy too. It makes it's simple to use it. Yes, it is a really good tool because we all go to the bathroom. We have that as a physiological signal. How do we know if we're full or just wanting more? Okay, well, that's going to go into the satisfaction side, Elise. So we are going there. What I want you to feel right now is I just want you to feel satisfied in your body. Just play with that. Like, what does that look like? When we look at the ending portion of a meal, we're looking at a satisfied feeling. The naturally thin will say it's full, but when I started to ask them, I was like, full, I'm eating until I'm full all the time too. Let's make sure our fulls are the same. What I got really clear is my full was feeling food in my belly. Their full was they removed the sensation of hunger in their body. See the difference? One is feeling the food in I would feel food. I felt comfortable feeling heavy in my tummy. They would say they said the absolute opposite. They hate the feeling of feeling that fullness in their tummy. They love the feeling of their hunger being dissipated. Very different ways of feeling that stopping point. Okay. So I want you to play with what does satisfaction look like to you? Do you feel like, naturally for me, if I weren't ever to do this, I would be feeling full in my tummy all the time. And I would want it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I know for certain I would be 100 pounds heavier than I am now, because I just know that that's where I had a natural comfort. And so I had to just, I had to, and I have to keep practicing that satisfaction feeling for me. Hunger is like dialed in. Hunger for me, I just kept practicing it by putting my hands on my stomach, asking myself throughout the day, am I hungry? When I wasn't hungry, I drank. I had other things. I kept myself busy. Now the good news, everyone, you just keep practicing and all of a sudden you just feel it. It's so automatic. You just feel it in your body, just like you do when you have to go to the bathroom. You feel it, you respond to it. Done. Okay. But at least we're going to do a lot more work on that satisfaction and feeling it and where is that and the levels of it and all of that too. Okay. If we're living a whole food, plant-based lifestyle where large plates of veggies is the norm, this is a lot more volume than a fistful of food. Yes. So I tend to fill myself up until I'm satisfied, but there will definitely be some tummy expansion at the beginning of a meal, but it works for me. Okay. Yes. Tam, yes, absolutely. If you are plant-based and, when I say, I want you, the key though, is I was a vegetarian. I wasn't a vegan, but I was a vegetarian for 8 years and I lost my weight when I was a vegetarian going into in both of those realms. And then when I started eating meat, I was also the biggest I was as a vegetarian. So here's the thing that's important to know. We overeat, right? So I'm totally fine. Don't worry about, like the fist size or the cupping size. The most important thing that I want you to do is listen to your body. And you think about veggies are very high water volume. They have a very high water volume, so it will take more. The key is listening to your body. Okay? Listen to what your body needs and what feels good in your body. And if you're hungry all the freaking time, then we need to look at, okay, is there something we need to do so that you're not feeling hungry all the time, having big giant meals and not having the body shape that you want to have, the size that you want to be at, right? So we look at all those factors. Is the food giving you the nutrition you want? Does it satisfy you? Is it make, psychologically, are you feeling satisfied by it? And are you seeing results in your body and your weight loss? For you, Elise, there's a big difference between satisfied in my hunger versus satisfied in my taste buds or mental desires. Hell yeah, girl. That is the truth. Amen. I think we all can relate to that. That's why this is a journey. That's why it's a process. That's why when I say I want your meals to be both psychologically and physiologically satisfying. This is key. That's why I want your taste buds to be activated and enjoyed and for you to actually enjoy your food. Because if you go through a meal and you're like, that wasn't so good, you'll go hunting, or at least I would go hunting for more food until I felt that fullness, until that psychological satisfaction kicked in. That's why I want your meals to be both physically and psychologically satisfying. Then we're going to look at, okay, so what happens mentally? Because obviously a really important part of your journey, all of your journey, is to look at what happens when you know your body's satisfied, but everything inside of you wants you to keep eating. We're going to dive into that. We're going there, people. We are doing that. But because that's the journey, that's the work, that's where this is. That's why I say most of this is mental, because physically it's very easy in concept to eat when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied. Just like it's easy in concept, go to the bathroom when your body needs to use the restroom. What's challenging is what we associate food to mean and connect in with emotionally, mentally, right? Trauma comes in there. All these things get connected in with food. And so my job is to help. Let's throw some of these, let's disconnect them a little bit and let's deal with the emotions. Let's deal with your mind. Let's deal with these separately, even though I know they're all so intertangled, but we're starting to pop them out. So that's why I want you to have a journal when you feel hunger. And let's say you're eating and you're like, I think I hit satisfied. But if you want to keep going, or you don't want to wait for hunger, Write it down. What's happening? What's really helpful, everybody, is I go by the belief that thoughts create feelings, which create emotions, which create outcome. Okay. If I know what your thoughts are, I can help you, because most everything comes, at least in my world and my thinking process, is everything comes down to thoughts. We change your thoughts, we change your outcome. Okay. So that's why I will ask you a lot to, what is it that you're thinking? What are the words? What are the phrases that you're using? Is that helpful? What can we do instead to shift your thoughts? So I'm going to do a lot of thought, feel, act work in this process. But if you hear me ask you, what are your thoughts? What are the sentences that you use when you want to keep eating? What are the sentences you use when you don't want to listen to hunger? What is that about? That's where the real emotional work is. Okay. But for right now, just focusing on that beautiful hunger of yours, feeling it in your body. The more you fall in love with it, I promise you, the more you'll be like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have this as a signal inside of my body that I listen to. And it'll feel so empowering to feel that. Tam, good. I'm glad I answered your question. Any other questions? Let me go on to the phone. Sorry, guys. Nobody has their hand raised. Are you nervous to be coached? Just so you know, any of these calls that I do that are live, I always give you the opportunity to come on and join me over the phone. If you really, if you want coaching and you feel comfortable, I am happy to do live coaching with you. It is always helpful for everybody to see how I coach and what that looks like and where I can find some missing links. So just know that is always an opportunity for you if you would like it. All right. So play with hunger, feel hunger, connect to hunger, make friends with hunger, and keep this journey alive. I'll see many of you in the inner circle. I'll see many of you in the 30-day challenge. I'll see many of you in the Thin Within results page. I will also put this up on the podcast. I will place this in the 30-day challenge, and I will place this in the inner circle. So you will have all sorts of ways to listen to this. I will send you an audio as well of this. So you will be getting it all over the place. All right. Sending you lots of love. You got this. You can do this. Don't give up on yourself. If you get frustrated, reach out to your fellow folks to help, and I'm here to help you too. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day playing with hunger. Bye.